today, and this is the second time I'm trying to record this. But this is going to be another story time with Mr.G Gamer on we're gonna do funny story, life story, whatever collages. They're gonna be a bunch of short, funny stories of shit that happened to us, and hopefully you guys like them. The gameplay provided you today is more Fallout. Um, yeah. So, if you guys want to see that on my main or main gaming, just tell me. And more updates like in the recordings. You said those black blotches on side screen. That's just stuff that's being done while everything was being recorded. So just like don't even like look at it or bother. Like just ignore it. You're just here for the story. Anyway, I'm gonna let Mr. G Gamer start off with this funny story. Let's go.
Oh, I wanted to start off with yours, but okay. What happened is that my friends, well, one of my friends, they used to smoke weed, him and his friend, and they were out in this field one day, and it's next to their house. And I went in the house because they were smoking, and I was gonna be a good kid. Looking me. But this spawned the best story ever. Okay, so they're smoking weed, and then all of a sudden, my friend, his name is Lane, his friend turns to him and says, just out of the blank, after they've been smoking for a while, turns to him and says, "I need to be free." The blank face. And what he did was he stripped all of his clothes off. He's bare naked. He ran off into the forest, or the field, bare naked. And then he blacked out, and he was just laying on the floor, and there for a while. And then Lane went to go and see what happened to him. And he found him, and he looked at Lane. He was like, "Dude, what just happened?"
Tripping balls.
And he turned. He said, "You looked at me, said I need to be free, and then ran off butt naked, saying I need to be free."
Bruh, I could just imagine his reaction to learning this.
He had no recollection of that. That was the great part.
Yeah. So my funny story right now. Actually happened to me earlier today when I was buying KFC. Uh, so I had gone over to KFC today because I was hungry, and that's about a quarter mile down from my house. So I grab on my side satchel I bought from Comic Con because I didn't feel like carrying the food all the way back, so I would put it in there. So I got that on. I walk all the way over to freaking KFC. And I get in there, I pay, and I'm just like, sweet, I got my food. So I walk out drinking my drink, got my jacket on. It's cold outside. I have my satchel on. And as I'm walking out of, the parking lot of KFC, like this homeless, like African American, tall guy walks up, like at the other side of the parking lot. And you can tell he's homeless or some kind of drug addict. I don't even know. But he was like, "Hey," like I can just hear this, "Hey," and I turn around and he's like motioned me to come over towards him, and I'm just like, I'm good. Like he's telling me like, "Come over here, hey, over here," and I'm just like, no, I'm not that. Like I'm not a dumbass. So I turn around and keep walking, and he's like, "Hey, over here," and it's like, oh, no, I'm not. I'm not letting you take my freaking food. I'm not letting you take anything. Like, I did not trust this guy
I'm going to
one
let you
bit.
rape me in the butt. Stay
Yeah,
away from
this
my
guy was
butt.
probably gonna. I don't know what he was gonna do to me. I started walking away, but
He was
I hear
gonna
this
poke you in
clicking
the butt.
noise, and for like a split second, I thought like gun was pulled out. Like I was scared shitless. So I like stood still, and I like turned around. And I turned around, and the dude was gone. This guy was gone. And I just booked it across the street and just casually walked back to my house like nothing ever happened. And I'm still wondering, because even though it was like 3 hours ago, like what would have happened to me if I would have gone over and freaking said a what's up to that guy. Oh man, that's my story. What's your second story?
All right. I have a funny one where I got pissed off at something, and this is at my work. But apparently, I work with stupid people, which I hate working with stupid people. But they're funny, and I love them, and I've worked with them for a solid 3 to 4 years now. So I'm at work one day, and I work construction, so I do a lot of construction stuff. I build house and all that kind of stuff. And we were remodeling this really nice lake house. And what happened was they wanted, these people are rich. I mean, like rich. It's like they have an elevator in their house to go down like a set of like 15 stairs, like that distance.
Bruh,
And
they got the monies.
yeah, they got the monies.
Oh yeah, one thing, guys, if
Okay,
you can hear
what
like all the
happened?
controller tapping in the background, Mr. G Gamer is playing Warframe.
Yeah. Sorry, I'll move my controls farther away from my body. Not my booty. Get out of your mind, you dirty people. I love you.
Remember
Okay,
that.
well, ignoring that,
Mr. G Gamer loves you all.
yes, I love you. Me love you long time, no charge. That's not racist. It's a quote from a movie. Okay, but I guess being derpy right now. Besides that, they they had a deck, like a big deck outside, so they could look at the lake. And what they wanted to do was put these big ass tiles and lay them all across the deck to where it looked like really nice. These tiles were like, okay, they were like 100 to like 120 pounds each. Okay, of course, my job that day was to move those tiles. We had, if y'all know what pallets are, we had like 4 giant pallets full of those tiles, and these are big solid tiles, and they come. Each tile is about 100 pounds, and the packages things that they came in that they were on the pallets in were that came in sets of 2, so they're about 200 pounds per set of tiles, and what ended up happening is I had to move all of these. So that's over like 300 sets of 200-pound tiles. And I had to carry them to this upstairs, up like several flights of stairs, and all kinds of shit. And this is already aggravating because I'm the only person doing this, and all the other guys. These are grown men, I mind you. I was 14 at this time, and these are grown men that weren't doing as much work as I was doing, because I was lifting this intense more weight than them. And I was carrying those upstairs and stuff. And I made a pile on that back porch, or on that like back patio thing. I made a pile where I put all the tiles. Well, the tiles, since they're in packages of like 2, they had a little cardboard thing around them to hold them together. I'd set those down, and the guys that were laying down the tiles would take the packages and set them on top of the pile of the tiles that I was putting there. So I would walk up there with these heavy ass tiles, and I would go and put them down, and there would be like a stack of like cardboard stuff over it, so I couldn't set them down. So I'd set the tiles down, move the cardboard, set the tiles down again. I walked back, got more tiles, walked back all the way up to the stairs, and there was more cardboard stacked on top of the thing. I'm like, okay, y'all are dicks. I'm slowly starting to get pissed off. So I do it again, and this time I'm like done. I don't want to frickin' move tiles anymore because this is heavy and it's like midsummer, hot as hell, sweating my ass off, and I'm having to move tiles. This is a big no. I don't like this. And they just keep doing it. I walk back up there. This time I'm carrying two of the packages with the 200-pound tiles. So it's 400 pounds. Carrying a 400-pound package upstairs and all kinds of shit to get up to the freaking thing to set them down. I'm pissed off, so I'm like tromping up there. I set them down. I end up, I just kick the plastic at, or not the plastic, the cardboard, the stack of cardboard. They're over there working. I take it and I kick it at them while holding the tiles. They're like, hey, what was that for? I'm like, get your fucking cardboard away from my pile. And then,
Bro.
okay, by
The
this time, y'all know I'm
disrespect
already
though.
pissed. I know, I'm already pissed by this time. And I go down there, and there's guys watching me. And these piles have like these, if y'all don't know what it is, if y'all ever been to Home Depot, y'all know the pallets that they have? They'll have like plastic, like I call them ties, but they're like thick, like hard plastic kind of stuff that wraps around the pallets. And these hold stuff like over 1,000 pounds. So these things are sturdy. I go down there and usually have to cut them with like, it's like, what you would call them? With like a really sharp knife. So that's what I've been using all the time. And somebody took the knife that I was using to cut them. They snagged it. So I go down there, and I'm so pissed off by this time. And there's two people watching. This is what made it funnier, because I'm like my dad. When I get pissed off, I do psycho shit. So I walk down there, and the ties are holding the things. Well, I grab the ties, and I rip them off, breaking them with my hands. Which that's like grabbing a triple threaded rope and breaking it with it, just taking it and ripping it apart. And there was two guys watching, and they just
Bruh.
looked over when I did it, and they're like, "Holy shit!" And I was like jerking around the piles of tile, and like picking them up really violently and setting them in different stacks and all kinds of stuff. And these people are just watching, scared to death, because there's this 14-year-old like throwing around these 400-pound tiles like they're nothing.
Bruh.
And I keep doing it, and then I go back down, and the knife still isn't there. And I'm like, okay, who stole the fucking knife? And the guys are like, they just slowly started walking off, and they were like trying to avoid eye contact with me. And I waited. This is where I got really pissed. So I waited for them to walk back because I figured it was them. It ended up not being them, so I felt kind of bad doing this, but it was funny. I waited until they walked back, and I looked directly at them as soon as they walked in the room. I looked directly at them, and I reached over and grabbed the tie and jerked it off and threw it at the ground. And they just looked at me and they're like, "Oh shit." So yeah, they kind of were scared. I ended up getting to where the point where I was carrying three of the packages of tiles, and I'm not shitting you. I'm actually carrying like these three packages of tiles upstairs and all kinds of shit. And this shit is heavy. It's like
Bruh. Like, I don't even
close to
know.
600 pounds, if not 600 pounds exactly.
Man. Damn.
I'm carrying this stuff. I was a big weightlifter, so yeah, it's pretty strong.
Hmm. So is that about it, man?
So yeah, now I'm going up there and I'm kicking the cardboard out. I finally get done with this shit. And you know what ends up happening?
Hmm.
I end up having to lay down the towel
Bruh.
because somebody else fucked it up.
My God. I'd quit my job at that point. Well, guys, was that the end of your story?
I don't know. Once you got another part, that's the end
Well,
of my story. Unless you got a story.
I ain't got no more
I
stories for
actually made
right
that one
now.
quite long.
Plus, guys, it is around time for the end of the video. God, I only told one story. Nothing really happens in my life. But I hope you guys enjoy,
Yeah,
what Garrett
me
had to
either.
say and whatnot. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video. If you have any ideas for any kind of videos to suggest, just tell us and we'll look at your suggestions. Till then, later.